you stop and take a little time out with me? Just take 5.
Yeah, take 5. We had to get a little impromptu podcast in. What's it? Thursday? Little Thursday night action with Joey with EE. How y'all feeling, man?
Chilling.
Feeling good. A little congested, but we keep moving.
So, Ian, where are you at these days? You in Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm staying in Atlanta right now.
Okay, Joey, you up in Chicago? Is there snow on the ground, Joey?
Yeah, there is, unfortunately. It's been really cold the last week or two, so not been fun, hence the reason I'm dealing with a cold and a cough right now, so not fun.
You know, I'm reporting live from Tampa, Florida. It's 57 degrees right now, right? Now, Joey, 57 degrees, you know, I know that's summertime up there, but this is cold. I'm unreasonably cold right now.
You got your Canada Gooses
cold,
on yet, or what?
Listen. I got the heat going. I mean, yeah, I had to put on some fleece, got some sweatpants. Like, it's unnaturally cold right now. You know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. See, y'all two don't really know, but in Tampa, at the last weekend of every January, there's something called Gasparilla.
Oh my God.
So Gasparilla, they literally shut down roads downtown for a parade to come through, and it's all pirate themed, right? They put the boats in the river, and it's like this large party where you know, drink sun up to sundown, that type of thing. And they're talking about some snow in Tampa, right?
Morgan, you want to know what's funny? A few of my friends were down there for Gasparilla last year.
Okay.
One of my friends used to live in Tampa, but she's since moved back. But a ton of my friends were down there, and I guess did it. They said it was fun. So I know all about the Gasparilla stuff.
It gets wild, but in this specific case, though, Joey, listen, if it's snowing, I ain't going. But for real though,
you're funny.
That was bad.
Bro, it's supposed to snow up here too in Atlanta on Saturday.
Tight. Like I've heard, you know, that wintry mix is not it. It's not for me. So I moved down here, but it followed. Anywho, let's get into some sports, gentlemen. So we're winding down the NFL postseason. We finally have 2 teams in the Super Bowl, right? Once again, we have the New England Patriots led by Drake May and the gang, and we have your Philadelphia Eagles.
Give it to me, give it to me.
You're funny, bro. You can't make it every year. You can't make it every year. Like, I know you expect us to be there, but like, we're taking a break, bro.
I thought that's why you had the hoodie on.
I'm always supporting my team, bro.
You're not ashamed?
Ashamed is crazy, bro.
That would be. Anyway, Seattle Seahawks, right? So it's an interesting matchup. You know, I mean, we've had podcasts at the beginning of the year. I doubt that this was the matchup that we thought would make it to the end, make it to the finale here. But we are going to have a new Super Bowl winner. I mean, I'm sure there's a mix of guys that have been here before, but it's very few. Like I know Cooper Kupp, you know what I mean? He's going to be in there again, but very few guys, right? So we're going to have a lot of fresh blood in there, and we know the Super Bowl is a different game. So I just want us to get a vibe check in, honestly, about how we're feeling about this matchup. And honestly, what this says about the league, you know, is there parity nowadays? Talk to me, Ian.
Yeah, I think you do bring up a good point. Like there is a little parity now in the NFL, a lot of new guys seeing what it's like to reach the Super Bowl, play in that big game. And like you said, it is unexpected that Seattle, led by Sam Darnold, is there. Like they have a great defense and a good team overall and a good coach, but just was really unexpected to see a quarterback who was really a journeyman really end up here. And he deserves it. He's been playing well the last 2 years. But yeah, it was also pretty weird to see the Patriots make it back, especially after Tom Brady and losing everything and starting all over again, even with Mac Jones. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good one. I think I like the Seahawks here just because they have a better defense, better team overall, in my opinion. I mean, it's really 50-50, honestly, if you think about it. The Patriots do have good offense, a good defense as well, good coach, just like the Seahawks. So, but I'm going to give the Seahawks the edge just because they have a little bit more experience with Sam Darnold on the defensive side as well.
Joey, Super Bowl. How we feel?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I just feel like I remember before game day, I think on Sunday, I saw a report of all of the people outside of Bo Nix being out that game. Like Troy Franklin was out, like all these other defensive guys out. And I'm just at this point, the Broncos offense was already questionable. And, Stidham was like okay, I guess. Like he wasn't doing anything crazy, but I don't know. I just feel like the Seahawks kind of blow this Patriots team out of the water, and I think this Patriots Cinderella run ends here. I was a doubter in Sam Darnold on our last podcast, and he's been fine too, but he also hasn't really totally disappointed like he did with the Vikings last year. JSN obviously like one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in the game right now. One of the best defenses in the league right now. I just think Seattle is just too good right now, and I think it just kind of blows all the competition that the Patriots have had to face so far out of the water.
That's true.
Now, what's also true is that we have tape, right? We have film of this podcast of where we made our picks. Okay. I seen that Seahawks team during the regular season, right? We talk about Nigba and the boys, right? They can play. I was very impressed then. I'm still impressed now. This is not a shock to me. I feel like they are the most complete football team that we have today, right? I have the Seahawks going. I told you that was my dark horse team. I'm not going to switch up now. There's no reason for me to jump off that bandwagon for the reasons that you both highlighted. But I do want to think about this in a macro perspective. So as we mentioned, we're going to have some new blood in there. Great story with the Patriots, having to dismantle basically what they built over many, many years of success, right? And getting back to this point so soon. What makes a Super Bowl team in the NFL as we talk about in 2026? What are some key characteristics that both of these teams have or have shown throughout the year that ultimately led them to get to this spot?
I guess I'll go. Or you can go.
All right. I think some of the things that I've noticed too, you just got to be able to play both sides of the ball. You've got to have a very solid offense and a pretty good defense. I think the last several years we've seen teams like Ian's Eagles just be able to play both sides of the ball. You have a very solid, a very elite defense. And then even on the offensive side, you definitely have these playmakers. There were questions about Jalen Hurts during the playoffs last year, but he, came around, he performed. You have these big guys that can make plays in the biggest moments. You've got the A.J. Browns, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley's. You've got a good offensive line. like they're really good. They're able to dominate on both sides of the ball. This is kind of a weird NFL season where you feel like all the favorites have kind of not been as advertised, or some sort of injuries happen to them. But it's kind of interesting though. So that these guys, like Morgan said, we got some new blood in the Super Bowl this year, and and it's really good for these guys to get that experience.
Yeah, I guess to piggyback what he said, complimentary football is huge. Like you can't have a great defense and then just your offense, just get by, give you 15 points. Like the Texans, for example, they had probably the best defense in the league, probably better than the Seahawks, but they couldn't move the ball. Like, and it's funny because they didn't even really need to move the ball that much, and they probably could have won. So like I think just having a competent offense, like at least get you something, especially in big moments. But yeah, big time players, you need those, especially in the playoffs. A lot of people do shrink, like that's a thing. Like we saw with CJ Stroud. But I think in this moment, we saw a Sam Darnold be able to rise above the noise, prove the haters wrong, even me. Like I didn't believe in him. So yeah, I think just playing above expectations is a huge thing. And then I want to say another characteristic of these teams is having a great coach. I think coaching does matter a lot, especially in the NFL. These are two defensive-minded head coaches too, and I think what's his name, McDonald for the Seahawks. He really changed that team, and gave them an identity to really play behind.
Very interesting. Now, very interesting takes. Now, I want to go firstly to Joey's point, just about the favorites that we had, right? While he was speaking on that, I took a gander at some of the most paid contracts that we have in the NFL. We don't see those guys. You know what I mean? We don't see those guys. You have to be able to build a complete roster, which goes into the complementary football comment that Ian made. You have to be able to build a complete roster. You have to have playmakers at many different positions on both sides of the ball, right? In this league, it's not going to be the Patrick Mahomes anymore. It's not going to be the Tom Brady's. It's not going to be those guys that ultimately, the Josh Allens that ultimately lead their teams to success. It's going to be those teams that are coached well, as Ian mentioned, right? And we're also seeing what it means to be a winning franchise. We're not the Seahawks being here, the Patriots being here. That's something that we've all seen in our lifetime. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that's new. There's a demand of excellence when you walk through those doors, right? And they've exhibited that throughout the entire season and ultimately in the playoffs as well. To me, that's what is going to separate you from the pack, right? A lot of these guys, they try and get the next shiny object. They try and make sure maybe their quarterback is getting paid, but at the expense of the team around them. And they aren't able to, it's a team sport, the ultimate team sport happening, right? If you do not have that full roster of guys that are ready to play and lean on one another, you're not going to be able to do it. You're just not going to be able to do it. And I hate Joey, I hate to beat a dead horse, right? But when we talk about the flashiness, like when we see Jalen Hurts, you know what I mean, with the fresh lineup, you know what I'm saying? Like we see AJ Brown, Devontae, Sirianni, all of those guys. They've done it before. You know what I mean? They've done it before. But now they don't have that cohesion in order to, overcome their flaws, their gripes with one another to get to the highest level. These guys that we're seeing here, they played together. They've leaned on each other throughout this thing, right? And that's why they're here. That's what it's gonna take. That's my take. Is all I got to say.
No, it's real. Like especially with the you can't pay your quarterback, that $60 million contract anymore. Like Tom Brady realized that, and that's why he got so many Super Bowls. Like you gotta actually build a roster.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Anywho, before we pivot to some different sports here, Bad Bunny, right? It's Bad Bunny.
Yep.
I think he's bringing out Drake.
Nah. He'll probably bring out some like another Hispanic singer. Someone.
He's American.
All right, bro.
All right. Anywho, all right, guys. So we're getting close to the NBA trade deadline. Is coming up here on the 5th. I thought it was the 6th.
My birthday.
All right.
Not gonna lie, it's gonna be hopefully in a very explosive birthday for sure.
For sure. Now we're hoping for that. There's been a lot of names tossed around, of course. At this very moment, Giannis Antetokounmpo has made so many different headlines. It seems like every team has a horse in the race to bring him after we all learned that, him and the Bucks are mutually ready to part ways. Right. So when we had a previous podcast speaking on Giannis and his situation, we all agreed that it was time to sever that connection with the Milwaukee Bucks. And they've come to that conclusion as well. Right. And it's no surprise that it's before deadline. And we're seeing a lot of different rumors right now. But before we solely talk about Giannis, because we all believe he is going to be moved by deadline, are there any other names that we believe are going to be traded in the next 2 weeks? Right.
I gotta say, Jaren Jackson, I think, has got to be one of them at this point. We've kind of already talked about the Ja stuff and him being put on there. I think where the Grizzlies are really going to get value on the trade market is whoever gets a guy like a Jaren Jackson. Who do I see really picking up a guy like that? I kind of do like the fit in Atlanta, personally, but I think also you need it. And I know Morgan's going to make a face because I think you need a bigger guy who's able to protect the rim. But I think my only backtrack on that would be you just need a guy that can get boards, and Jaren Jackson is not that. But I think again you just kind of need size if I'm Atlanta. But
let me ask you something though, Joe. You believe that Ja and Jaren are going to get moved by deadline?
I think so.
Wow, that's a bold take. So the Grizzlies are just going to go ahead and dismantle it in these next few weeks. Okay. Jaren Jackson, very interesting in Atlanta. Also extremely interesting. Who else do we think might move in these next couple days or so?
I think one name is Kuminga. I don't know who needs him, but I feel like there has to be a demand. Like I know Dunleavy said there's no demand for him, or there has to be a demand. But I feel like he's a great player. He's still pretty young. He's shown you what he's capable of. I think he just needs the right team, like a team that is capable of winning it all, but just needs that one piece, like that 1 6-man or another small forward just to complete their roster. But him, I could see definitely being moved before the deadline.
I'm glad you mentioned Kuminga because I want to go on a little rant really fast.
Yeah.
Okay. Dunleavy is saying, and I'm kind of disappointed in Dunleavy because he's a former Bull. But anyway, I digress. There's not a demand because you decided to give him 16 straight coach's decision DMPs. Okay. This all stems back from last season where we really saw the rift being taken place. barely played in the playoffs until the Rocket series. He got like very minimal burn. Steph Curry gets hurt second round, and then they're like, "All right, we're gonna dust off Kuminga. We need you." He goes in. He does as good as you could probably ask him to do. It's been a long off season trying to get something figured out. They did that 1+1 technically, and now here we are, same sort of deal again with the idea of let's trade him for a star. You can't do that when you're not playing. Yeah, you can get mad all you want, but even if you're saying to yourself too, like if you're Steve Kerr saying we're not in a position to compete right now, what's stopping you from playing him? What's stopping you from giving him playing time? You create the demand. What demand is there when a guy like that, where you expect to trade for a star, is not playing? You're actively diminishing this guy's value. And so now no one's going to really want him, or he's not going to net you nearly as much value as what you ask for. So in essence, like this is Steve Kerr and this is Dunleavy's fault. There's no cohesion. There's no like real like communication here. If you're trying to get a semi-decent package, and already, Jimmy Butler, he's out with the ACL, but like Steph, Draymond, like these guys are all in the twilight of their careers. I don't even want to talk about Al Horford, but like him too. Like they don't really have any crazy like eye-popping young players. I mean, Podziemski, like he's really turned it around compared to the beginning of the season, but Will Richard looks good. But like other than that, am I really interested in any other young guy that they have? No. You need to really capitalize on the value that you have, that you are sending out, because right now this like future looks really bleak. And the issue that I have with the Warriors, and there's a lot of Giannis talk or some sort of star talk, you need to preserve those picks, because at the end of the day, if you put all your chips in to get some sort of opportunity for Steph to win in the last few years of his career, those like 20-30 picks, those like 20-28 picks, like those are going to become very valuable.
Yeah, they're going to need them
when it's all said and done. And you could have used a guy like Kuminga in your future, but you squander that relationship. You did. And now you're going to get back pennies on the dollar for a guy like him.
Yeah, I think they're just stuck right now, especially because they can't build up the value. I feel like they had a chance, but I don't know. Maybe I feel like if Jimmy got hurt a little bit earlier, they could have gotten him to play a little bit longer, giving him a little bit more value.
Nah. Joe is 100% right. I'm sorry I have to do this here, but no, Joe is 100% right. This has been many years in the making of this Kuminga.
Yeah, I agree.
Kuminga thing. But what Joey, Dunleavy, he can only put the ingredients in the kitchen, is my thing. Steve Kerr is the villain here. All right. He's the guy that we have to look at. This is the same Steve Kerr, Ian, who sat Jason Tatum. All right. The decisions that he has made has put the Warriors in the position that they're in today. Yes, we've won championships under his head coach, under his leadership. Yes, I understand that. But he has not developed any of those young guys or given them the opportunity to develop. Therefore, our back is against the wall at this point, right? Kuminga, the reason why we highlight Kuminga, right, is not because he's the only young guy that they've had, but it's the fact that, what is he, Joey? Are we talking about a 6'9", springs in the shoes? You know what I mean? Like a handle almost like a guard. Like he could really have been something if given that opportunity. But no, DNPs, right? Coach's decision. So last stage, But when Dunleavy gets up there and says that there's no value, right? To me, that's more of a jab at Steve Kerr. Like, hey, man, like you want me to try and trade this guy to give you, some better veterans, some better whatever. I can't do it. You never played him.
It's almost like the Brian Windhorst. Why do you think that is?
Yeah. like, this again in the position that they'd love to trade Kuminga for, like we're saying, some extra veteran help to get in there while Jimmy Butler's out for the year. They're not going to be able to do it. It's I don't know.
You think they get him? You think they give him up for the pennies on the dollar?
What choice do you have? Right?
I mean, they could keep him.
They could, but he's not going to play good basketball for you. Like, I don't.
You can maybe get his value up.
I'm sure he would like to get his value up as well.
Or when is his contract due?
I don't know. I'm not.
I mean, it's like a team or a player option next season. So right after this season, they could probably just very well tear it up, and where you get no value out of him and you lose him for nothing.
Yeah, it's a bad situation.
It's a total disaster.
Yeah, it is, and I think again, Steve Kerr is going to have to step down after this season, regardless of what the Warriors are able to scrape together. But that's a conversation for another time. Okay. Other guys that we believe are going to get moved. We talked Ja, we talked Jaren, we talked Kuminga. Any other big names, all-star caliber, anybody that we think we might be missing here?
These guys might not be like all-star caliber, quote unquote, but like I think New Orleans, if they were smart, I think they could get some pretty good value for I almost said Trey Jones, a Herb Jones or a Trey Murphy. Mm-hmm. I think I feel like a lot of teams could use a guy like Trey Murphy on their roster, especially. And we're talking about another guy who can shoot the lights out, who's got springs, who can defend. Like this is like a dream guy that like a Detroit or God forbid OKC could want. A guy who can create a little bit too, just off the dribble, go get his own shot. Because especially if we look at a team like OKC who's really struggled, their offense has just been very like bare bones, just look butt ugly. You might need a guy like that, and especially you need a guy that can shoot, because shooting's also been a very lackluster thing to come around in that offense as well. And we could say the same thing about Detroit, where same sort of deal. We can see that they really need shooters. They're a fun physical team to watch, but you need more shooters in order to really take this team seriously. And I feel like the interesting thing about those two teams specifically, they're in a very solid position to maybe even overpay a little bit to New Orleans. And if New Orleans was smart, they'd shop him. And I think someone is very much willing to give New Orleans 100 or 110 cents on the dollar or 120 cents on the dollar for a guy like Trey Murphy. He brings a lot to this table.
I feel like they're asking a lot for Trey, though. I feel like his price will be.
Why not?
I know, why not? I mean, of course, you're trying to get the most return out of him, but if you're a team, is Trey Murphy that missing piece? I feel like it's only a select few teams, right, that can insert a Trey Murphy and then be exponentially better. Are you willing to give up those first round picks? Like, is my question, because I think that's what he's going to be commanding.
I mean, if you have a chance for a championship, you might as well.
Yeah, and I think it's a better alternative than get it going for a guy like a Lauri Markkanen or an Anthony Davis, especially if you're Detroit. Like even in the case of Lauri Markkanen, I've seen it firsthand as a Bulls fan. Like I just feel like I'm a little skeptical on him being with a competitive team. what is his value going to be reduced to? Like I genuinely don't know. I mean, we know what he's capable of, but like I have not seen very like substantial minutes, and the substantial minutes that I think I've seen, even though like not many, especially given he's on the Bulls, but when he was on the Bulls, but I just feel like it's just a gross overpay, like where his value's at right now, and where like what his value can bring to a team that is competitive. Are they going to give him as much on ball reps? Like I don't know. Like I'm just very skeptical. And who's to say what he's putting up right now in Utah is just the product of empty stats?
No, that's a fair take though. But I think he's still a great player. He can
He
still give
is. He
still
is.
give you points.
I'm really glad to see him succeed in Utah, but I think I'm just a little skeptical. Like the sample size is not there for the important games that he's played.
You just won't know until you know, right? He's never been put in a position to succeed as far as team success is concerned. Team success is concerned, excuse me. Right. So we'll see. We'll kind of see. We'll monitor that name there. We mentioned the Anthony Davis thing. I feel like that's becoming less and less likely. For me,
That injury really hurt his value.
Yeah, I think so. I really do. I mean, he's been injured many times before, so I don't know
As
why.
if it couldn't hurt him anymore.
Yeah, like I don't know why it hurt him now, but I digress. I'm gonna monitor guys like Drew Holiday. I think there are gonna be some teams calling to see, if he's a part of that long-term future in Portland. I heard that Anthony Simons is going to be on the block, right? Try and get something more on that Celtics team. It's a name to watch, I believe. Let's see. Before we get into Giannis, is there any other? I think, I don't know, but Michael Porter Jr. is a name that we can continue to monitor, right? See what happens.
What about Bronny Sr.?
You're crazy. Yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely.
like that no trade clause is really going to get him anywhere.
I mean, I feel like he doesn't want to be there. I don't think he wants to keep losing, but I mean, maybe he's just enjoying the lifestyle, like the LA lifestyle right now.
I'm not gonna address you too further, but LeBron is not going anywhere until the summertime. Right?
Yeah, I feel like at this point, like what value does he really have? Like, yes, he's a great player, and yes, he's really good at what he's doing at 41 is something that we should not take for granted. But at the same time, it's like no one's giving up the kitchen sink for a guy who's 41.
We don't have to sugarcoat it.
Like,
we get he's a family man, and yada yada. Nobody's trading for LeBron James in the middle of the year. Let's stop it. One guy I failed to mention, and then we'll get to Giannis, is Karl Anthony Towns. Right. So not only am I hearing rumblings, in the media or whatnot, but I'm also hearing the rumor that he's become frustrated with all of these trade scenarios surrounding his name and Giannis and this, that, and the other. So you have to wonder how strong is that relationship with the Knicks at this very moment. So we'll have to see. But Giannis Antetokounmpo, that's the name that we all are speculating about. Okay. Giannis has been linked to the following teams that I know of. Y'all can let me know if I'm missing any. The Knicks, I've heard about the Raptors. I've heard about the Sixers. I've heard about the Heat. I've heard about the Hawks. I've heard about the Bulls. I've heard about the Hornets. Let's go to the West here. Spurs don't want them. Rockets don't want them. I've heard about the Nuggets before, actually. Let's see. I've heard about the Timberwolves, and I've heard about the Warriors. Okay. Am I missing anybody?
think you touched them all.
The Lakers, maybe.
I haven't heard about him to the Lakers, but I don't know what trade that would be if that's possible. But anywho, he's been linked to a number of teams here, but we all gave our 2 cents on what we believe his value is. It's been reported that the Bucks are looking for young talent and picks, right? So who do we believe can supply the young talent and picks and make the most sense for the Bucks organization to make a deal with?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna deepen the Warriors shade that I'm about to throw. If John Horst like keeps getting like missed calls by Mike Dunleavy, whatever sort of package they're offering around like an injured Jimmy Butler and Pajemski and all these guys and all these picks, like yes, the picks are going to be valuable, and that's the only reason that I would consider that. But honestly, like if I'm John Horst, I'm farting into the receiver and hanging up. Like, I don't love this package. I don't think they're going to get anywhere near the value that I think the Bucks like can get. And yes, like I'm not exactly like going back on my word saying that he's not going to go for anything or not go for like some, Godfather offer, but like I don't love this, and I feel like if I was the Warriors, like I would not do that. Like I just don't think it's worth like giving up your entire future for a guy like Giannis. But I do like the Heat's package in the sense like because I think they've got young guys, they've got picks, they've got Jaquez, they've got Khalil Ware, who's been kind of on and off. They've got Jacashonis, the rookie out of U of I, who I kind of liked and I thought was kind of interesting. He hasn't gotten a whole lot of burn, but I think the caveat with that is, everyone says, that you get these Heat guys out of Miami, they're not able to produce for you. See Gabe Vincent. But no, like seriously, like I think as far as like asset wise, like that's kind of interesting. I don't know. Like, I think even the Bulls, like, I'm not going to dive too deeper. Like, I don't think it's totally crazy. Like, we have the contracts and we have the picks to really pile together. But I think at the same time, like, the Bulls aren't in a better position, aren't in much better of a position than Milwaukee is. So I don't even understand why Giannis would want to go to Chicago. Would I love him in Chicago? Yes. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, like, how much is it really like it raises our floor, but how much does it really raise our ceiling?
Very interesting. Yeah, that's the only reason why the Bulls thing, I'm unsure about. I'm skeptical. I think, and I don't know if this is kind of the general consensus, but I think that Heat package is going to be the most attractive. But I still have the same take about the Heat. The Heat are not that much better than the Bulls. I mean, they're a game and a half ahead of y'all right now. You decimate that team, I'm sure you're going to give up Hero in a trade like this. Like, what would your feeling be as a team?
I just don't know what kind of value he'd bring in an offense like that where they don't really run a whole lot of pick and rolls.
I mean, these are the questions that have to be posed and answered. Of course, they want to bring Giannis there, but you bring Giannis there, I feel like you're still at least a year away from doing anything serious, right? So I don't know. Now I'll play into Ian's nonsense just for a second, like just for the sake of discussion. If you're willing to package young guys, like if you're willing to give me VJ, if you're willing to give me,
VJ. Whoa, hold up. Nah, he's not on the table.
Don't be weird. Don't be weird. If you're willing to give me VJ, yes, bro. You're giving it. Yes, you're giving that up for y'all.
He's untouchable.
I didn't know we were on the pod with Daryl Morey over here.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
bro, VJ is a insane draft pick that you can never get give up. Like I think that's known.
Bro, stop pretending you don't know who Giannis is. Just stop it. All right,
Bro, it's VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe's his ceiling is insane.
bro.
You don't just give that up, especially
he has not played a year of basketball. Can you stop it for a second? Just
and
stop.
He's already shown you signs.
McCain showed signs. What is he doing now?
You couldn't say McCain, bro. You couldn't throw in McCain, Grimes, maybe.
You're giving me VJ Edgecombe. You're giving me McCain. You're giving me Grimes, and whatever picks. I think you're giving me Embiid, to be honest. But you're
at that point, it's like, hey, you're trying, like, if I'm in Philly, like, I'm trying to get out of the Embiid business while I can, like.
Bro, I would slide Embiid over and say Maxey and Giannis is the future.
Giannis is more injury prone than Giannis. Giannis has been dealing with this Achilles for so long. I can't remember last time he hasn't dealt with it. Like, it's been years.
Bro, that's not the point.
Actually missed valuable and important games.
It's not the point. Who's the better player?
I don't know. At full strength, I don't know. Dude, at full strength, Joel Embiid is insane, bro.
You're an MVP at his best. I was trying to vouch, actually. Like, I was trying to be on your side.
Morgan, he's an
Embiid is better than
MVP at his best.
Embiid is better than Giannis.
At his healthiest, Embiid is one of the best. You literally said this came out of your mouth,
Morgan. At his healthiest is over. That's done.
Okay, but even now, he's still very good. Giannis can't even get on the floor, bro.
Bro, it doesn't matter. When they're both on the floor in 2026, we know who's better, right? There's not a question about that. On everything we do. We do. we do. Like,
Joel's just gotten healthy. He just got back. He's never healthy. He's healthy right now. He's actually just got back from his knee surgery that he just had like a year, like 7 months ago, not even a full year.
And how many knee surgeries is that though?
It's like 2.
Like how many?
The last one wasn't. The last one was not non-contact. Like, it wasn't his fault. Kuminga jumped on his leg. Like, that actually, like, WWE.
Who cares if it's not his fault? He's still hurt.
I'm saying, like, so Giannis is hurt because of himself. Like, it was his.
He is. There's a difference between a non-contact. There's a difference between a non-contact injury and someone WWE jumping on your leg in the middle of a game. Like, Joe already has bad knees as it is. The point is, Giannis. We don't know where Giannis is going to be in the playoffs. This man might still be out with his calf injury, just like the last 3 years, bro. He's been doing this the last 3 years in the playoffs.
Stop crying for a second. Just stop.
I'm just blown.
No. Just stop. Just stop crying for a second. What are you willing to give for Giannis? Let me just see where the line is on.
Well, I mean, it just depends what the Bucks view as valuable. Like, in my opinion, I think Paul George has some value to his name.
George.
His name has some value, bro. You can like say that all you want. He's still a great defender at his age and still can give you. He can still give you points, bro. I don't know what.
Still give you points.
That's just dude. That's just the that's just giving you some flavor to the trade. The real part of the trade is giving them young pieces like Grimes, McCain. Quentin Grimes is a six-man, it's a 6-man candidate, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen,
can you imagine if John Horst and Daryl Morey are in a conversation for a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade, and John Horst is like, "I want Paul George." That is like some Nico Harrison type, like
obviously.
You'd be the National Basketball Association, bro, for even proposing that.
He's just the little chair on top, bro. That's not the meat of the trade. Meat of the trade is obviously the picks and the young players, bro. Like McCain is
young players. You named Paul George, who's ancient. Then you went to Quentin Grimes. Who's the other young player that I'm getting in this trade?
McCain. And McCain is better than any prospect they have in their future, so like that gives them something to look forward to. Like Grimes is still he's still young too. Grimes is like 24. He's very good player. He can be one of their franchise players that they also use especially with McCain, that's an insane 1-2 punch.
You should be ready to get off of VJ. Like, you should just go ahead. You should just go ahead and make that move, bro. Like,
I'd rather trade Joel than trade VJ, bro.
All right, that's
bro.
That's different. That's different. That's
bro,
that's really,
I understand they don't have the same
different.
value.
It's February. I mean, that's not even February. This is my bad. We're not even at the All-Star break. All right, and we're ready to move off the MVP process.
I said rather than VJ.
VJ. Then VJ. That's a shame.
How is that a shame?
Now, my last question before I get off of this and we go to some other team. My last question for you is, do you believe there's any other team out there that can offer a package for Giannis that's better than fingernails, McCain? What'd you say? Quentin Grimes in 2026 Paul George. Pandemic P.
Sadly, I do think there is a better package.
Then what are we talking about?
I'm just saying, like, this is an option that can go down if they want younger players. But if they do want to actually like compete and like build off of something like that they can actually like see that's actually good next year, and that they don't have to like put their like bet money on, is Karl Anthony Towns. Like, that's an actual player that can win you games. You can actually build around off of. Like, I don't know why you're making that face. Like, he's a great player. He's an all NBA caliber player, bro. And Giannis probably wants to go to New York over most of these teams anyway. So I think
that is a Nico school of business right now.
Like, obviously, it wouldn't be just Karl Anthony Towns, but it would be picks. It would be like pick swaps, hella pick swaps, which would be very valuable.
Joey, do you believe that there's a realistic pathway for Giannis to go to the Knicks?
I just think, like, I refuse to believe that the Bucks would be interested in a guy like Cat. I'm gonna be totally honest. Like, unless they like have some sort of a trade on the table where you can get some real value for Cat, but you almost positively have to get like a third or fourth team involved, and I think one of those is going to have to be Portland. Just because like they have a lot of Milwaukee's future picks, and if I'm the Bucks, I'm trying to get those back any way I can. Whether it's giving Portland Karl Anthony Towns or like Mikal Bridges, like I feel like that's like the main sort of thing that I've seen is like Cat and Mikal, like all these picks for like I don't know, and then Portland sends like all of Milwaukee's picks back to them. I just don't know how realistic it's gonna be. Like, what other stuff is Portland gonna have to give up, like for a guy like Mikal Bridges? I honestly just don't know. I feel like you gave up too much for Mikal Bridges in the first place if you're New York, and I feel like the only way you could really justify it is like turning him into Giannis, but I don't know. Like, it's very hard to kind of make sense of like putting something together.
But Mikal and what's his name and Cat, bro? Like,
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. What do I know? Like, what do I know?
Luka got traded for.
Like we've seen stranger things happen, but I don't know if that's like we're talking again, young players and assets. Young players and assets. You bring over Mikal and Cat, like I don't know if that fits those characteristics. That's all I'm saying.
So, I kind of like Mikal in Portland, though. I feel like that's kind of interesting.
Mikal in
Portland's giving up Drew Holiday to go to the Knicks with Giannis. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. I feel like you can't really rely on Drew Holiday like you could a few years ago, but
it could be interesting. Portland, I mean, again, you look at their roster. This is a team, in my opinion, that has potential if they had the correct system, correct coach in there. But I still think it's going to take some time. I don't know if bringing a Mikal in there is going to be a difference maker. I think they need to figure out, sift through those young pieces, who we want to keep, who we want to sell, who we want to ship to China, and kind of go from there. This is the last team I'm going to bring up here today. I take 5 o'clock. I just want you, just humor me. Just close your eyes for a second. Just close your eyes for a second. Pause. Right. LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Musa in the center. We're feeding families at this point. We're feeding families at this point.
Who are you giving up though?
Huh?
Who are you giving up though?
Whoa, you want to know the trade?
You got to give up Khan, bro.
Hold up.
They're asking for Khan the minute you call. Or Brandon.
Nah. They don't need Khan to make it work. All right, check me out. This is the trade right here. Miles Bridges, Colin Sexton.
Shit, Miles Bridges.
They're interested in Miles. Tijane Salon. I don't know what Liam McNeely and Ryan Kalkbrenner. You add in a 2027 round 1 pick, a 2028 round 1, and a 2029 round 1 pick. In return, you receive Giannis Antetokounmpo, Gary Harris, Jericho Sims, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, and Cole Anthony. You press the button. You press the button. Who says no?
The Bucks.
You get it riches. 37 days. 37 nights.
I'm sorry, but if I was a fan of the Bucks and I got back Miles Bridges and Hornets picks at this point, like we've seen how good that trio of LaMelo Ball, LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, like they're on a tear. They're like some crazy stat. I think they're like 10-1 or they're running that starting line. Like that's insane. They've got some really notable wins, and I'm just like, I'm not like if I'm a fan of the Bucks and I get back Miles Bridges, like, I'm like,
yeah, that's not enough.
I'm sorry. Like that's like
talking about.
You need here's the issue though, like you need to pull off a very like near perfect trade for Giannis, because if you don't get any sort of good young piece, if you don't get Brandon Miller or Con Knipple back in that trade, that is such a fireable offense by John Horst. Like that's insane. And that Dallas pick in 2027 too.
But wait a second.
It's like top 2 protected.
Listen, guy, I'm not trying to compare the two. I'm really not. But you traded Trae Young for CJ McCollum and Corey. Listen to what I'm trying to say. It's not always about the return. A lot of the times it's just moving off of the player, right?
Nah.
Moving off of the player. Our options are going to be slim by deadline, right? He is not willing to give me VJ. I want Kalkbrenner. You know what I mean? I want Miles.
No.
In the seas.
Nah, bro. I'd rather take Grimes and McCain, bro. Hey, come on.
That's crazy talk.
Come on. If you're not gonna give me Con, bro, I'm looking the other way, and we can hang up the phone.
Miles Bridges, Colin Sexton,
Dude.
I'm hanging up.
I'm trying to tell y'all what could very well happen. Joe, you're talking about this tear or what? They're 11th in the West. I'm in the East, right? They're 11th.
They're 10-1 in ther last 11. Like,
what does that mean? Like
something like that. Like they found something.
That means you started off 1-0 for like you 0 for something. Like it's not, it's cool. Like you get some good highlights, but imagine bringing Giannis in there with Michael Jordan, with Kid Gilchrist and them.
No, I do agree it would make them a real contender, but like I just don't see the Bucks. I think the Bucks can get a lot more than that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, y'all named the package, man. Like, I don't think the Warriors are willing to give up Kalkbrenner. Like, You know, and you're still in the middle of the process.
The Warriors don't even have a Kalkbrenner. Like,
I'm just saying, like, it's still in the middle of the process. So, Hawks aren't giving up Jalen Johnson.
I mean, there's still a lot of teams just don't have enough, I think. I mean,
if it's not the Heat, then, anything is possible. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I can see the Heat now at this point.
That's all I got to say. I'm not trying to show y'all the light, man. That's it, right? Just like what I said, the Seahawks are going to make it to that bowl game, right?
I don't know if you said that, but
they're my dark horse team. That's what I said.
I don't know if you said that, but
that's what I said.
You can have it.
Anywho, anything left on Giannis, gentlemen, before we wrap this up?
I got nothing.
All right. I take 5 pod, man. So we'll be on weekly sometimes, and just got to stay tuned for updates here, right? So we out. Oh.
Well, did y'all just get the Sam's Bar?
The what now?